Ladies and gentlemen, here we are. We are back. We are back. We took last week off, and Jody is unfortunately not going to be joining us this week. The LLD Foundation basketball tournament is happening, so Jody is preoccupied with that, so he will not be able to join us today. But I had somebody step up and say, hey, I'll come and fill in for Jody. So today, we are not the Can-Am Connection. We are the Total Arm Wrestling Show, back for more. I bet it crossed some people's mind that it might not be you. It might be one of my previous co-hosts. Jeff Frank, how are you doing?
Doing well, Ryan. How are you doing, buddy?
Hanging in there, pal. Hanging in there. I got the High Five Arm Wrestling shirt because that's the event I'm focused on for the end of August, where I will pull Wagner Bortolato. So off the top, shout out to the High Five Arm Wrestling Knuckles
That's
up.
a pretty good card, isn't it?
That's an awesome card, man.
I can't remember. I remember seeing it, and I was like, "Fuck, wow, that's got some serious matches on it."
It's got some serious matches on it, but there's a bit of a trend as well. And I don't know if this was by design or it just is a coincidence, but there's a lot of athletes on there that are banned from the World Arm Wrestling Federation. And hence...
Remind me who's all on that card?
Well, I'm going to pull up the graphic here. Just give me 1 second. It's not just the World Arm Wrestling Federation, but I believe East versus West would now qualify. So Jordan Sonev, he is pulling, I believe, Chafee.
Right.
Sonev is banned. And then we've got Pavlo versus Marcio. Nothing there.
Right.
Me versus Wagner. I don't know what my status is. Chance Shaw versus Sabin Badalescu, which is, Sabin is banned as well.
That's a good match.
Svitin Gashevsky is on here somewhere, and he is as well. So there you have it.
Sweet.
And if you've seen
is this in Ohio?
No, it's in New Jersey.
New Jersey, right.
So we have, if you look at the graphic, this is the most impressive set of arms in that whole thing is Gabby.
Yeah.
You should see how she is looming over Chance Shaw and I on that poster.
Excellent. That is a fantastic card. I can't wait. Hopefully I got time to watch it. So,
yeah. All right. Putting users in timeout. Jay Clean, I appreciate you. All right. Jeff, what have you been up to for the past few months? I notice you're wearing a mixed martial arts shirt and a jiu-jitsu hat.
Jiu-jitsu hat?
Isn't that bad boy. Okay, yeah. Isn't that part of it? Isn't that like a jiu-jitsu club attire?
No.
Okay, you tell me what it is then. Okay. So what have you been doing? Fighting?
So last few months, I'm in full fight camp here and been training extremely, extremely hard. I'm on a very rigorous schedule, and it's pretty much 6 days a week, 30 hours a week, and that's been my life and my only life, and it's got me consumed.
Well, I'm happy for you, buddy.
Yeah, so go ahead.
You got a fight scheduled?
I did, and then 2 people backed out, so that was a little disappointing. I had something lined up for October. Hopefully still goes in October, November. But yes, we had two lined up, and both guys backed out with injuries, so still waiting. But you know what? It'll happen when it happens, and it will happen. So every day is just hitting the mats, hitting the pads, and sparring hard and wrestling hard and getting prepped. So it's they pretty much grounded me from the gym. No bench press, no arm curls, nothing building muscle. They're really trying to get my muscle mass down. So that's been really good. It really makes me feel good. So my cardio is exploding fast every week, and I look forward to tonight. We got a very rigorous session. We got a bunch of UFC guys up tonight for our sparring session, our 2-hour sparring session from the MMA lab. think we got Benson Henderson up and a few other guys. So really looking forward to tonight.
Did you say Benson Henderson is there?
Yeah. So the guy that owns our gym owns the MMA lab in Arizona, which Benson Henderson, Rob Emerson. We got a bunch of Kyler Phillips. We got a bunch of UFC guys come up. So they come back back and forth all the time. And so Benson's up this week, same with Kyler, and they're all part of the sparring session tonight. So really looking forward to that.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
Well, you want to talk about the Nationals? I think that's what people are here to hear about. Or do you want to go down the path, Andre Alexiev? What happened at Nationals? We were going to talk about that AWE event a little bit, Ryan Bowen stuff, but I mean, honestly, I don't know if you saw some of that. But I mean,
so Jay Clean said hit my opponent really hard in the face, and I'll be completely honest with you. I am not focused on boxing very much. My wrestling is my bread and butter. I'm a very strong wrestler, and I mean, once I get them down, I pound them ground and pound them pretty hard. So I'm not focused on boxing all that much.
When I was still training to fight, I loved stand-up fighting.
Yeah.
I mean, I could wrestle, and my jiu-jitsu was good, but my bread and butter was boxing.
Yeah. I mean, I do boxing once a week, but I mean, I'm not focused hard on it. We're basically just utilizing boxing to set up takedowns, and I mean, it's good enough that I'm comfortable with it, but it's still, I mean, boxing takes years, right? So it's but it's at a place right now that it's gonna really help the takedown, and we practice hard on that every day. So
yeah. What do you think of the fights on the weekend?
You know what? I worked security at the bar, and so I didn't get to watch him. We had him on at the bar, and I did catch it, but I didn't watch him enough to really formulate an opinion on it. I kind of seen the Volkanovski, the Rodriguez, the last maybe minute of it. So it's I haven't watched him yet.
Yeah. Well, let's go. Let's talk about the Nationals. I was going to touch AWE, but AWE, I mean, that's been done to death. I mean, Ryan Bowen put on a great event, and the matches were a little bit lopsided. So you had Bowen beating, why am I drawing a blank here? Artem. Yeah, and that was a good win. I don't think I expected it to be that one-sided. However, Bowen is leveling up. I mean, you can't deny it.
Yeah, I was gonna say that. Like the guy or hate the guy. The guy's a real deal, and he puts his money where his mouth is, and he's not afraid to step up to anybody. And I like that about Ryan. Like, he's really leveling up, and he's a straight shooter about it, and he does what he says he's gonna do. Gotta like that about Ryan Bowen.
Yeah. And then of course we had Lachlan going up against Jordan Sill. Lachlan looked pretty strong, and he's got a big match coming up. He needed to look pretty strong because he's got a yellow right away.
Yeah, he's got Mikey Aiello, yeah.
And then we had Meadow Orangi versus Todd Zilla, and Todd Zilla came in. It looks to me, and this all makes sense now because Todd Zilla's, getting ready to fight for the 95 kilo championship in East versus West, which is quite a bit smaller than he was.
Right.
But he still got the win. Even being a
I can't see the other. Did the other guy put up a fight at all?
I mean, he did win a match.
Oh, he did. Nice.
Yeah, he did.
He's a big boy, though, right?
He's a huge guy. Like, he's a big guy. Yeah. No chance of him getting into a lower weight class. Put it that way.
Interesting.
So let's talk about the Nationals. Do you want me to go or you want to go?
You started. Overall, how were they? Looked like it was a good turnout.
If I'm just going to give you the high-level factual overview of the whole event, I'll tell you my positive takeaways from the event. I think other than one minor black eye on the whole thing, the event was great. Lots of entries. I think over 500 entries at the Nationals, which next year it's going to be, I think, the biggest national. Yeah, sorry, Jay Clean. One round, not the match. Yeah. Next year, it's going to be even bigger because Quebec has almost that many arm wrestlers come to their provincials.
Nice.
And that's how many. I mean, they roughly matched the number from their provincials as we had at the nationals this year. So
I'm curious, did BC pull out their bid?
BC, that's a complicated story because one guy wanted the bid and it wasn't supported by the other guys on the BC from the executive in BC. So they didn't think they were ready for it. So they never actually submitted it. So I'll tell you that from the meeting on Friday, which went really well, I thought we all seem to have come away from the Nationals politically on the same page, which is currently we're staying neutral and we're not bending to anyone's requests or demands. We have the Quebec Nationals coming up next year, and the year after that, they were awarded to Regina, Saskatchewan.
Right.
So just down the road from me.
Nice.
4 hours.
So let's talk about the black guy.
Well, let's get to that after I talk about the positives, because Saturday morning, my daughter arm wrestled. She did really well. It was a big class, 60 kilos plus 13 to 17 years of age, which was a huge class. I was muted myself to tell the dog to be quiet, and he actually listened for once. She, I think there were 7 or 8 competitors there. She ended up getting 2 bronze medals, so she made the podium both arms against some very tough competitors. So sky's the limit for her. She had a positive experience up to the end of that. Then I'll talk about Sunday. Let's jump right to Sunday, where I was refereeing all day long to test for my master level referee, which I was successful in.
Nice, good for you.
Yeah.
Did Anthony get his?
Yes, he did.
Good.
As did Tony Brooks.
Nice.
And Rob McNamara, I believe, got level 3. Scott, correct me if I'm wrong on that, but I think that's how it went down. So, I mean, there's some things going on right now that I don't want to talk too much about what happened, but I mean, let's face it, I ended up arm wrestling Devon Larratt. I won't talk about his path into the tournament, but there's a lot of things that happened. You know, I will say this. Had this just been a match that I lost and we moved on, I got no problem with that.
Here's what I don't like about it. Now, we all know Devon's going to be Devon. You're not going to change that. I only seen the matches, so I don't know what happened in between rounds. So to me, the trash, or the chirping, the trash talk, maybe didn't overly bother me too much. I know you got thick skinned. It's water off a duck's back. To you, and congrats to you for not saying too much and getting involved. Here's what bothered me about it. One, maybe some guys didn't make a big deal about this, but the attire honestly pissed me off.
Honestly, I had no issue with it.
Here's why I have an issue. You give me to me, it's a complete lack, and it's funny coming from Devon because Devon's very respectful to the sport, and he's a good ambassador to the sport. He loves the sport dearly, but name me a fucking sport that does not have some sort of attire populated with it. Name me a sport. Fucking bowling's got fucking attire. And when you show up to a national championship that has a dress code and you dress like a fucking bum, that bothers me. I'm not going to get on the mats and wear my running shoes because I'll get kicked out of class. Every sport has an attire, and when he went on his YouTube and said he didn't realize that, come on, Devon. To me, it's a lack of respect for the competitors. It was a lack of respect for the sport at that moment, and I personally didn't like that. He just, it bothered me.
Here's what I thought was going to happen. I thought he was going to show up without a team shirt and without the proper pants. He went and found a team shirt, and he went and found pants that met the requirement somewhat. To me, that was acceptable.
So
I honestly had no issue with that. I mean, you saw some posts on Facebook that were made by somebody that shares my last name. Those had nothing to do with me. That is actually my ex-wife that made those comments. She was upset a lot more about my daughter witnessing some of the things she witnessed. Attire.
Here's what really fucking drove me nuts, man. There's no secret that you've wanted a match with Devon for years, and he did not accept. And he did not accept the match with you at any given time.
Years ago,
ample opportunity to fight you like a man, one-on-one. He shows up to a national championship to face you, which he made known that his sole purpose there was to beat you.
Well, his sole purpose there was to actually run a clinic that we knew about 6 months ago.
I'm talking about the competition.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
So his sole purpose in competing in a competition was to beat you. So I don't understand why a guy that just comes off a big match, he's fully in his prime. I know you're not in your prime. I know. Why would you not, as a man, when you want to face a guy in a fight, call arm wrestling a fight at this point, not want to have that guy at his best, saying, okay, Ryan, let's do this. Let's match. I'm giving you 4 months to prepare for me. And why would you not want to face this guy at an absolute best one-on-one if your sole purpose was to go there and face an individual? That to me, that's just fucking, I don't get it. That's fucking cowardly. Show up unexpected. You had no idea he's going to be there. I didn't like that. But what's even fucking worse to me is the fact that he didn't go there and just pull the fucking nationals and go and win first place. He drops matches, and there's people that win first place that didn't fucking earn it. That's a fucking disgrace.
Well, there's some things that I can talk about, and some of the things I didn't like is, the narrative around that. Like people using the word easily when they describe how I was talking about Devon and wanting a match with him. Did I say I thought I could beat him at one point? Yeah, I did. And I did. And I did beat him at one point. Did I say that I would do it easily now? I don't think those words ever came out of my mouth.
Which word, sorry?
The word easily.
Yeah.
I don't know.
The thing is like, I don't know. I didn't like the fact that, I mean, I don't care about the trash talk. Fuck whatever, man. Like,
you know what? On the table, honestly, I'll tell you about the things I didn't have a major issue with. I knew I was going to, by me staying in the tournament, I knew what I was getting myself into during the match. Okay, let me be very specific. From the time that I got called to the table to the time the match was decided, I knew what I was getting myself into.
Yeah, but that's kudos on you.
That would have been okay. I did not have an issue with that.
Yeah. I wouldn't have so much of an issue with it if you would have went in there knowing that you were going to pull and go in there and actually win the national champions. The fact that two people get first place that he dropped matches to, that's fucking, I mean, that's wrong. And the fact that he didn't face you one-on-one in a super match when that sole purpose was to go there just to face you, and he didn't take that as a super match when he's been offered for years, I don't know, man. That's, and what's weird with Devon, that's not Devon, because Devon doesn't back down for matches. I mean, fuck the guy. So I don't
know that he ever was afraid to face me. I just didn't think he was. Yeah, I mean, there's other matches out there that he would rather take. There's no upside. There was no upside. This was a match of convenience, I think.
Well, it was convenient, but hey, if you're going there, then go and pull the nationals, but at least go and win it.
Yeah.
I mean, I have no issue with that. If you go to that tournament and you win the tournament, but then you drop matches and you have two guys sitting at first place that didn't earn that fucking first place, that's not right. How do those guys feel by getting first place medals that because the guy fucking lets his arm get pinned?
I don't know. I don't know how they feel. They seemed honestly, they seem pretty happy about what happened there.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't be. If I got a first place in something that I didn't earn, I'd be.
There's going to be maybe some think the problem is now we got to wait a year to figure out, what might have happened or what could have happened in that event and all that stuff. But I mean, it's a complicated matter at the moment.
So, anyways, that's my thoughts on it. I don't know. I don't follow arm wrestling a whole lot anymore. I was interested in that, but it's one of those things. I kind of wish Devon would have been Devon. And if he wants to face, he goes and pulls the tournament. He might as well. He's had years to take on a super match. I mean, we've been talking about this for years. Many of opportunities to face you, and why beat a guy when he's not in his prime? I don't know.
Yeah, 3 days notice to get ready for that level of a match is not really adequate. I mean, it's a lot of things that were unfair, and I'm never going to convince some people that that's something that should have changed. There was this narrative that it was 10 or 15 years of shit talking. When I asked Devon right at the table, which I believe you can actually hear in Uncle John's video, what this shit talk was, it was simply that I had asked for a match and said I thought I could beat him. And this is true. I did say those things.
I don't think you've ever denied
it. At one point, I said those things. Doesn't really seem like shit talk. Isn't that how most matches get made? But yeah, the way it went.
I don't have issue with shit talk. I don't have issue with the track.
Well, that's not really. Does that really even qualify?
No, it doesn't, and I don't. But that's not the issue. I mean, to me, the more when you're pulling a national champion and you're going to pull the tournament, but you went there for a purpose to face one guy, you give up matches to let other people win. It just taints that whole fucking division and the championships. It's a lack of respect for those other pullers. How isn't it? What's the debate? It's a lack of respect for the people that won first. I mean, go there, fucking pull the tournament. If he faces you, great. He beats you, but go there and win the fucking tournament at least.
Well, there's an argument that can be made that, and this has nothing to do with me. There's an argument that can be made that there's guys that would have made the podium that didn't, and a strong argument that other guys would have made the podium. But we'll never know because it was manipulated in a way that, yeah. A win is a win no matter how it's gotten. Well, Mimiski, 18. Let me ask you this. If someone on the A side of a tournament is in the final and they get called to the table and their opponent gets called to the table, and the opponent just basically is 10 feet away from the table, turns and just kind of does one of these and just waves it off. I guess that's technically a win.
No,
but is it really?
A win, a win is a win. I mean, that's
it's a win because the guy refused to come to the table.
Who the fucking standard being proud of a first place finish because somebody laid over and said, "Here, go ahead, take it."
Well, nobody. I can name.
And if you're fucking proud of that, you're a fucking chicken shit. I'm gonna tell you that right now. If that makes you fucking happy to win something that you did and fucking go in there and beat somebody at their fucking best, that's not.
Here's what I will say. I think, let's use Robin Getson. He's the guy that won the left arm national championship in the Masters class. I have nothing negative to say about Robin Getson. He goes there with a belief that he can win. He tried. He would have walked away very happy with probably wherever he finished. But now he's the national champ. I want to say, how can you be happy with that? But I mean, that's the hand he was dealt, man. I mean, it's not by any of his own doing either.
No,
right?
Exactly. It's not his fault. But how can you? I wouldn't be happy with that. If I win something, I want to know that I fucking went there and I won it. That all the hard work and all the training I put into that got me to that first place spot.
Here's the deal, you guys. Like, the second Devon entered that tournament, I knew what was going to happen. Okay? I gave it my all anyway. I gave him everything I had, but I knew what his level was, and I knew what my level was. And at no point, I'm admitting it, you guys. Like, Kadar, shut the fuck up and listen for 2 seconds, and you'd hear it. I know where Devon's level is at because of what he did to Dave Chafee 1 week before that tournament. And I knew where my level was at going into a national championship where I had very, very different priorities. I'm not saying that me at my absolute best can compete with this level of Devon. I'm not saying that at all.
No, I
But
don't
I
think
knew
anybody.
that
Yeah,
it wasn't going to go well for me in the tournament. I thought, okay, worst case scenario, I've got a really good shot at, Devon gets gold, I get silver, we move on.
That's where I'm at with it.
That's
if you go
what
down,
I thought would happen. I honestly did. So everyone that was saying, "Oh, we've been waiting to see this match for years," fuck, not this version. Sorry. I mean, I'm
I don't know.
gonna let a bunch of people down because I know where I'm at and I know where he's at. That's just the way it was. 6 months to prepare, I'm not sure it would have made a difference because there's certain things that I'm just not willing to do. And that's
Well,
it.
yeah, I mean, and
And
I don't
even
even.
if I did, Devon is arguably like, if we were to say, hey Ryan, you started shit talking him 10 years ago. 10 years ago, Devon, it wasn't even in my weight class. Like, let's not forget that. He was in a 225-pound class in the World Arm Wrestling League. We weren't even having this conversation. So no, there was no shit talk for the past 10 years. There just wasn't.
I don't know, man. Like for me as a fighter now, I just you really learn really quick, Ryan, like what training means and the heart and soul people put in to achieve greatness. Yeah, it's just arm wrestling, but when you look at the cost, the fly somewhere, the cost. I mean, fuck, you can't just go say it's just arm. Like there was a comment in there, it's just arm wrestling. No, it's fuck. It doesn't matter. Like I don't know. For me, I've just learned a whole new mixed martial arts has made me realize
it's
what respect is, what real training's all about, and what the amount of heart and soul people put into something to achieve something. And even though it's arm wrestling, people still spend money. You're still flying halfway or across the fucking country to earn something that you train for. And I don't care. A win's not a win, man. Like if you're happy with that, and I don't know what to say.
Well, okay, he gets the win. He gets to set the rankings correct. He'll be ranked probably. Well, I mean, based on what I felt, ZB, after what happened to me at Nationals, we'll never be friends. Never, never will we be friends. And I'm not talking about the stuff, like, it's the stuff you guys didn't see on the table that made it that way. It's, a guy like, well, it cost me thousands of dollars to go to Nationals. It costs, $120 to enter the Nationals. You're renting a car. You are flying there. You're bringing your family with you. You're going to go on a vacation. It's all for a purpose and a straight up competition. The sport of competition, the ability to compete on the most level of playing fields because you're all there for a common goal. The common goal should be to win a national championship. That was what my goal was. I thought I was going there to have an old school rival match with Earl Wilson. Earl said he didn't feel like he was trained adequately. He pulled the Grandmasters. I had never intended to pull on Sunday, but Devon had entered the tournament on Sunday as well to presumably do the exact same thing he did on Saturday. But when he found out, presumably, that I wasn't doing it, he withdrew from that day.
There you go. That's my point. I would have no problem with him just showing up, pulling the fucking class. He wins the class. He wins first place. Great. Good on you. He beats you. Life goes on. But anyways, I think we beat this one to death.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, let's. It will happen the way it will happen. But this unfolds the way it unfolds. There's a lot of stuff still going on. There's a lot of hate
It's
mail,
really a
a lot
fucking
of
shame, though, Ryan.
messages, a lot of comments, a lot of bullshit that not only I'm seeing, but also my kid is seeing, my wife is seeing, and I know that I'm feeding the trolls when I talk about this shit, but it's history. I hope people can let it go. Jason Teal, and he won't care. I know he won't care. I know he won't care. But I mean, arm wrestling will survive with or without him. It's whether you guys think it will or not. It's going to continue. You won't see me, and it's almost like Pradeep said in his video. Yeah, I watched it. He said, I don't recall Ryan saying that for quite a while. Well, there's a reason for that. Like, I am winding down what I'm doing. So I am training extremely hard for this next match coming up. But then you might see me, take the odd one and maybe just attend the Nationals and maybe start going to the Worlds. When you go to the Worlds and your intention is to go back to the World Championship, IFA or WAF, there's certain things you are not allowed to do. And professional supermatch arm wrestling and the World Championship cannot be done in concert. They just can't. That's the way it is.
There you go.
Yeah. What else you want to talk about there, Jeffrey?
Lead the pack, man. I have not been. I've been in my own fucking world, man, and it's pretty sheltered at the moment, so I am not.
Oh, I have one more thing to add on this. Everyone wants to be friends with, the coolest guy in the sport. Don't pretend that you're mine when you're going to be feeding a bunch of shit to someone else. So when all of a sudden I'm hosting people at my home and I'm bringing people in to train and practice and someone's not welcome to those things, they should not be the least bit surprised, and I shouldn't have to tell them the reason for it. On that note, though, there's a huge practice tonight coming here to Manitoba. We're having one at the Republic Park. But yeah, some people have reached out and I said, don't darken my doorstep because this ain't that.
Yeah. I understand.
Yeah. What else can I say?
Moving on.
So moving on, Wagner Bortolato. So that's what I want to focus on. And he's going to be a tough task.
Yeah, he will be. And you will need to have your A game. And how long you got? When's the match?
August 26th, but he's pulling. I get another look at him before that match. Mm-hmm. I get to see what he's going to do against Farid.
All right. Is that at East versus West?
That's at East versus West at the end of July. Sorry, I'm just reading comments. All right. Yeah, no, he's pulling East versus West. I get to have another look at him, see what kind of shape he's in, what he's doing, because what he presents, see you this evening, Warren. What he presents at East versus West is going to be a very similar thing to what I get 1 month later, I think.
I don't think in arm wrestling in a month you're going to change a whole lot.
Well, Wagner's going to be Wagner. He's going to be huge, strong. He might outweigh me at that point. Jay Clean says, I think Farid is going to crush Wagner. Man, I would be surprised if that was the case. Yeah. All right. Billy Berg says he's having another East versus West qualifier. I haven't even heard rumblings, Billy, that they're going to do that whole series again. But yeah, well, Billy Berg's got a match coming up August 5th I got a...
Sorry, who's got a match?
Billy. He's pulling Mark Harrison.
Billy and Mark Harrison?
Yep.
Oof.
Because Stronghold's what was that noise?
I just went oof.
Yeah, it's Billy, you better be training, buddy. It's gonna be good. But
Mark Harrison's a fucking bad fuck. And I'm not taking anything from fucking Billy at all because one, I give the guy credit. I mean, the guy's got a huge fucking heart, but did he not just lose to Ali and Artem at the East versus West down in the States?
oh man, but we're talking about tournament arm wrestling versus super match arm
Yeah, but
wrestling.
my point is Mark is a superior to
Is he right
Ali.
now though? That's the question. Because arm wrestling is about when we do this, and I was a victim of this too, we talk about, everyone as if they're at their absolute best.
A
Is
super
Mark
match with Mark Harrison's a fucking that's a big man. He better. I hope he's.
Well, if Joe Nelson says I hear Mark was looking really good, then he probably is looking really good. Maybe he is at his best. Maybe he's trained up.
Mark Harrison's a fucking. I mean, he's a multi-time national champion.
Mark Harrison is a bad dude, Billy.
He's a
I was there
bad
watching
fucking
him win
dude.
national championships when you were still in. No, I won't say diapers. That's too far back.
But hey, good
Probably
on
back
Billy
in,
for taking that challenge, though.
probably in the early 2000s. Is when Mark started. There's two Mark Harrisons, though. Can you remember that? There's the American Mark Harrison and there's the Canadian Mark Harrison.
Yes.
Yeah. So, Nelson Torque has pulled both of us lately, says I feel stronger. All right. Mark Harrison is a crazy generic name. Fun. So Fraser's putting on that event. It's a Stronghold event. There's a bunch of super matches. Joe Fox is on the card.
Oh yeah, Joey's coming back.
So August the 5th, make sure you are watching. It's in Black Falls, Alberta.
Nice.
At the amphitheater.
Nice,
Check out the
nice.
Stronghold Arm Wrestling Facebook page if you haven't already. Yeah. I won't be there, Billy Berg. I was offered to come and referee that event. I am not going. I have other things going on, and only so many weekends in the summer where I can hang out with my family and enjoy my cabin. So, yeah. Ingen talking to Hristo and Mendogas. Who do you think wins that, Ryan? Oof. Mendogas. Mendogas wins that match. Jay Clean. I don't think there's ever a scenario where I'm going to say Mendogas doesn't win. Well, Jeff, you ready to jump off here? We had the 40 minutes, and a lot of people were saying that maybe I would quit my channel, but I'm not going to quit my channel.
Don't ever quit, man. That's the fucking worst thing you can do.
I might take breaks from time to time, but I'm not going to quit, and we're definitely not going to shy away from making predictions of matches, even if they involve Devon, because that's what we do. And we'll talk about the aftermath of all of those matches.
Excellent.
Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be back on next week. Oh, yeah.
What else we need to
Brian
talk
Gabriel,
about?
you want to talk? Hey?
Oh, what's
Kodiak?
What's Brian? Oh, Kodiak? Fuck Kodiak, man. Fuck Kodiak. You know what's even worse than fucking the shit going on with fucking Devon is a guy like fucking Kodiak that tries to fucking intervene in fucking things and make a name for himself that he doesn't fucking have. It's a fucking joke. And he fucking knows it. Like, you know what? Like, I don't even know what to say about that. He's got one guy in his fucking club because he's been kicked out of every fucking club in BC and Alberta and fucking halfway across the fucking country. And he puts himself in the middle of some drama going on between Devon and Ryan, thinking he's going to change the world to fucking put Ryan in a position to beat Devon. He doesn't understand what needs to go into even to face a guy like Devon, the amount of prep. I don't know what the guy's fucking got screws loose, man.
No comment.
It's fucking ridiculous. Fucking ridiculous.
Well, the drama's over, I think, for now. But Yeah, it's Beer Man says you guys had a conversation. Yeah, I talked to Beer Man. He phoned me up. USS Liberty, thank you for the super chat. And if you're, I don't know what Beer Man said on his show about our conversation, but we did have a conversation. And that's probably the only scenario you're going to hear me talk to Beer Man in is when he talks to me off to the side, because I don't need to go through going on the show and taking the shit kicking that would be delivered to me. Yeah. There's one for you. Can you see that? Scott's comment.
Well, it's fucking ridiculous, man. Like I said, if one thing isn't bad enough, it's when people try to fucking get something for themselves out of somebody else's drama. Like, what the fuck does Chris Boschman have to offer you?
Superior training.
To what? What does Chris? He's not even ranked in the top 5 in
Thanks.
BC for fuck. He's
We're getting the super chat. They're keeping us going with super chats, Jeff. Fantastic soapbox, Jeff, doing your best Joffrey impression. Oh man,
I just don't get. I don't know what he thinks he has to offer you that you don't get in Manitoba.
Yeah.
And that he wants you to finance him fucking coming out there is so fucking laughable. That
Sergino, get over it, Ryan. You spent money, but we're done. I think we all know that more than that happened. Sergino. It was not just getting beat. And I actually didn't get beat by someone eligible to beat me, but that's more for another time. All right, Jeff, you all done?
Anything going on in the MMA world we need to talk about?
Yes, sort of. I saw it was announced today that Tyson Fury and Francis Ngannou have signed to have a boxing match in Saudi Arabia. Now I'm not quick to get excited about that, because it might be this weird rule set where they can't really try that hard, and there's no
I wouldn't get excited about it, man. Like, if there's one thing I learned, like, it depends on the rule set, but I don't know.
If it's straight up boxing, I'll get excited about it. It's
straight up boxing, like, yeah, you find out real quick, like, even in my training, like, just how when you implement different strategies and different disciplines, how fast things can change. But if you're subject to one, it's a whole different world.
Well, I heard that it was a weird rule set where they couldn't really hit that hard, and there was no knockdowns, and it was an exhibition. So basically, it's a glorified sparring session. Yeah, USS Liberty, never forget, Canadian nationals is not drug tested, but there is language in the Constitution that would allow for it. It's all about finances at the moment. There might be a time when that becomes more affordable, and then we would, consider it. But there are some things that need to be worked out. Like somebody mentioned to me, what about marijuana? Well, marijuana is not performance enhancing, but if you go by WADA standards, that would make someone fail the drug test. Yeah, Jay Clean. Yeah, my fear is just the other things that they would test for. That maybe
the only testing in the arm wrestling is at the world level, correct?
Well, no, Europeans.
Oh, do they?
Yeah. Is the Canadian Nationals a tested event? No, it is not.
No, it's not.
There's language in there saying that you can't have drugs in your system, but it is not tested. Yeah. So you're on the honor system at the Canadian Nationals. Yeah. All right, Jeff, thanks for coming on, buddy.
Thank you, sir.
See you guys all next week.
I'll send you some video of me putting a beat down on Benson tonight.
Yeah, that'd be great. I would love to see that. Tell him that you're going to do that first, so I get the real performance from him. And yeah. All right. See you, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. Even the trolls and the haters, thanks for coming in. And I particularly appreciate the dislikes on the video before it ever even aired.
Cool, man.
All right.